My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of The Woman in Black 2 Angel of Death. And I love the 2012 remake with Daniel Radcliffe. That movie is beautifully shot. It's filled with this gothic atmosphere. It's spooky. Daniel Radcliffe does a great job, and I love the conversations about death and loss, and the fact that all these kids are dying just adds this constant sadness. So I really do think that movie is underrated. And I was optimistic for this sequel. I didn't need much, but at least some of that carried over into this movie. So I went into it with fingers crossed, and the movie's atrocious. I despised this movie. Let's begin talking about the cast. And Phoebe Fox, Jeremy Irvin, Helen McCrory, and Oakley Pendergast all give flat, lifeless performances. No one is given good material, and no one is able to elevate it. Just not a single character or performance stood out or was really even convincing. The biggest issue with this movie is that it's just so boring. Like, this movie was difficult to watch with my eyes opened. Like, by the last act, I felt like I had to pull a Mr. Bean and just do this the entire time. Like, the movie is not engaging, it is lifeless, and I just thought it took way too long to get anywhere, and even when it does get there, it's still not good. So yeah, I just found the story to suck. I never cared about any of the characters or anything happening. The movie's not remotely scary. I'm a defender of jump scares. I think that as long as there's tension and atmosphere and the true scares, they can be very effective. Like, look at all of James Wan's movies: Insidious 1 and 2, Conjuring 1 and 2. Those movies are filled with jump scares, but I don't care because they're so incredibly well done. But here, every jump scare just felt incredibly cheap, and there's no tension or atmosphere, and then it just feels like a lazy gimmick here. The movie even tries to reuse not scenes, scales from the first movie with the walking chair, and it's just ineffective. So, yeah, there's actually one scene where um, the one character is in the room and suddenly she sees the woman in black getting hung, just like we see in the first movie, and that scene is effective there, but here I was just like, what? Like, it's just a noticeable step down in every single department, and what really bums me out is that I do think it had potential. The World War II setting, the fact that it's all these kids in this house this time, like, this could have been a really great sequel. It could have been. But then you just watch the movie and you just watch all the potential vanish. At the end of the day, I like movies that are engaging or interesting or spooky or at the very least entertaining, and this movie is none of that. For an hour and 30-minute long movie, it felt like, no joke, 2.5 hours. I just hated my time with it. I would never watch this movie again, so I'm giving The Woman in Black 2 Angel of Death a 0.5 out of 10. I was going to do a ranking video, but I just don't have much to say on this movie and the movie from the 80s, so I'm skipping out on it. If you do want to know my ranking, the worst is this one because it's just so lifeless and boring. The second worst is the one from the 80s because it did nothing for me, but it had its moments. the setup was decent. And the best is so obviously the 2012 movie because I just think it's well crafted, well acted, well written. I love that movie. So there you go. I'm skipping out on the ranking video for this franchise, but what did you think of this movie? What's your ranking of this franchise? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.